You think you have a discipline problem, but most of the time, what you actually have is an energy problem, and those are not the same thing because discipline can only operate effectively when energy exists to support it. And right now, your energy is leaking constantly in ways you barely even notice. Small distractions, constant stimulation, unnecessary conversations, emotional reactions, endless scrolling, fragmented attention, overthinking, stress, noise, pressure, comparison, digital overload, all of it pulling from the same mental reserve over and over again, until by the time you actually need to focus on something important, there's barely anything left. And because the drain is gradual, because it happens in small moments throughout the day, you don't recognize how destructive it really is. You just feel tired, unfocused, inconsistent, mentally heavy, and you assume you need more motivation, when in reality, you need to stop bleeding energy into things that never deserved it in the first place. Because energy is not unlimited, attention is not unlimited, focus is not unlimited, and the people who accomplish the most are usually not the people with the most talent. They are the people who protect those resources aggressively. They understand something most people never fully realize. Your attention is your life. Wherever your attention goes consistently, your future follows, because attention directs behavior. Behavior creates patterns, and patterns create identity. So if your attention is constantly fragmented, constantly scattered across distractions, emotional reactions, meaningless stimulation, and low-value noise, your life becomes fragmented too. Your momentum breaks constantly. Your mind loses sharpness, and your ability to execute consistently collapses over time. That's why you can spend an entire day feeling busy while accomplishing almost nothing meaningful, because movement is not focus, stimulation is not progress, and being mentally occupied is not the same thing as moving forward. Most people are mentally exhausted not because they're doing hard things, but because they're constantly switching attention, constantly reacting, constantly consuming, constantly allowing their mind to be pulled in directions they never intentionally chose. And every time your attention shifts unnecessarily, energy leaves with it. Focus weakens, clarity drops, mental sharpness fades, and eventually you reach a point where deep work feels impossible. Not because you're incapable, but because your mind has been trained to operate in fragments. You've conditioned yourself to need stimulation every few seconds, to interrupt your own focus before it has time to deepen, to react instantly to every notification, every thought, every impulse, every emotional trigger that appears. And the dangerous part is how normal it feels now, because everyone around you lives the same way, distracted, overstimulated, emotionally reactive, mentally scattered, constantly consuming but rarely thinking deeply about anything long enough to create real momentum. But understand this clearly, your mind becomes whatever you repeatedly expose it to, and if you repeatedly expose it to chaos, distraction, speed, noise, and emotional volatility, that becomes your baseline state. Then when it's time to focus, when it's time to build, when it's time to execute at a high level, your mind resists it. Not because focus is impossible, but because your nervous system has adapted to constant interruption. That's why protecting your energy is not optional if you want to operate at a higher level. It is foundational, because without controlled energy, nothing else sustains. Not discipline, not consistency, not emotional stability, not deep focus, not long-term execution. So now the game changes, because instead of asking, "How do I do more?" you start asking a more powerful question: what is draining me unnecessarily? And when you start looking honestly, you realize how much of your life is leaking energy constantly, not through major events, but through repeated small exposures that slowly weaken your mental state over time. You give energy to things that don't matter, opinions that change nothing, arguments that lead nowhere, content that leaves you empty, distractions that break your focus, emotional reactions that hijack your attention, environments that pull you into low-level thinking. And every time you allow it, you train your mind to stay externally controlled instead of internally directed. That's the real danger, not just wasted time, but lost control. Because once your attention becomes reactive instead of intentional, your behavior follows. And when your behavior follows external stimulation, your future stops being fully yours. So you begin protecting your energy differently, aggressively, intentionally, without apology. You stop treating your attention like something cheap and unlimited, and start treating it like the most valuable resource you possess. You become harder to distract, harder to emotionally manipulate, harder to mentally pull off course, because you recognize that every unnecessary reaction costs something. Every emotional spike drains something. Every fragmented moment weakens your ability to sustain focus later. And this is where emotional control becomes critical, because emotions are one of the biggest energy leaks most people never learn to manage. They react instantly to frustration, stress, negativity, comparison, pressure, criticism, uncertainty, and each reaction consumes energy, not just emotionally, but mentally, physically, neurologically. A distracted emotional mind cannot focus deeply. It cannot execute consistently. It cannot sustain intensity over long periods, because too much energy is constantly being redirected toward internal chaos. So part of becoming stronger is becoming calmer, more controlled, less reactive, not emotionless, but disciplined enough to stop giving your energy away to everything that demands it. Because not everything deserves your attention. Not everything deserves your reaction. Not everything deserves access to your mind. And once you realize that, your standards change. You become selective about what enters your environment, what consumes your attention, what influences your emotions, because you understand that focus is fragile until it's trained properly. You stop flooding your mind with useless noise. You stop overstimulating yourself constantly. You stop chasing endless dopamine spikes that leave your nervous system exhausted and your attention shattered. Instead, you create space, silence, clarity, intentional focus, deep concentration without interruption, because that's where real power starts building again. And at first, it feels uncomfortable, because your mind is used to constant stimulation, used to reacting, used to noise, used to escape. But over time, something changes. Your focus deepens, your thoughts become clearer, your emotions become steadier, your execution becomes sharper. You stop feeling mentally weak all the time, because your energy is no longer being stolen from 1,000 directions simultaneously. And that's when momentum starts compounding at a completely different level, because now your energy is aligned, your attention is controlled, your focus is protected, and protected focus is one of the most dangerous advantages a person can develop in a distracted world. Because while everyone else is mentally scattered, emotionally reactive, and constantly drained, you become stable, clear, intentional, difficult to shake, difficult to distract, difficult to stop. And once you reach that point, execution becomes cleaner, faster, more consistent, because your mind is no longer fighting against constant internal and external noise. So from this point forward, stop asking only how to work harder and start asking how to protect your energy better, because the quality of your focus determines the quality of your results, and the quality of your energy determines the quality of your focus. Protect your mind. Protect your attention. Protect your energy. And everything changes.